Out of This World. Yeah, this is a game on the Super Nintendo featuring Nestor. I think that was his name. God, we got some hoodlums outside. I don't know if you can hear them. But anyhow, this is one of those very short Super Nintendo games that if you know what to do, you can beat it in like 20 minutes, 15, and there was no lag. You play as a scientist that was developing this molecular type experiment, and he has an accident where he ends up accidentally blowing himself up into another like world. Hence the name, Out of This World, or Another World, as it is in Europe. And this is also a game that was made by one guy. Interesting fact. And so when you start the game, you end up manifesting underwater. And you have to swim up to the surface fast, by the way, or else you get pulled in by tentacles and drown or eaten or whatever they do to you. And so you go to the surface, and if you're not quick to move away from that water, this tentacle will like pull you back in and kill you. Now in this game, everything kills you. You are going to die a lot of times playing this game. If you're playing casually, you're going to die a lot of times. This game is like the epitome, like the final form of like trial and error. It just kills you again and again and again and again and again. But it's fun though. And it's very satisfying when you finally figure out what to do. But anyways, you end up manifesting in the bottom of this pool, and you get to the top, and you are kind of wandering around, like, and the guy's like, where am I? Like, what's going on? There's these like slugs on the floor with like fangs. You gotta like kill them, or else they like poison you. And this is like very early on what Resident Evil eventually did, where when you die, there's like a death cutscene. Yeah, this is one of those early games where you have death cutscenes, and it's possible that Resident Evil kind of took influence from this game because of that. But anyhow, you move in the first level. You're just kind of like, what the hell? Like, I was just in my lab drinking a soda, doing an experiment. It went wrong. I manifested in the bottom of this pool. I swam up. There were these plants trying to kill me. Like, what's going on? So you're kind of walking around. There's these slugs on the floor. You gotta like stomp them out, make sure they don't kill you. And so you approach the end of the pass, and then this beast drops down and goes, brrr. And then now you have to like play the game based on instinct, because you're supposed to immediately run to the left, because if you don't, the beast will like get you and tear you apart. And so you run all the way to the left. Because you can also kind of like hop on the game. If you hopped over the black slugs, you're gonna have to hop over them again as you're running, and that can, I think for most people playing it casually, that probably killed them, because you gotta hop over them again. If you didn't kill them, you just gotta run. Now, if you run and hold the jump button, you kind of skip. To an extent, it makes it go faster, but it might glitch the beast into catching up to you. It's a double-edged sword. So you run all the way to the left. You get to a cliff where you're supposed to jump off of it, hang on to a vine. The beast goes because it couldn't get you, and then the vine breaks, and then you swing, and then you end up flying into the other. You end up swinging to the right and leaping into the other area, slightly ahead of the beast. And you're supposed to run left. As you're running left, the beast is still chasing you, and so. Like, keep in mind, like, if you're playing this game casually, you're like, what the hell's going on? So you're running to the right, and then as you go from room to room to room to room, it's all open air, by the way. But as you go from room to room to room, or the beast gets closer and closer and closer, and when you get to the part where the beast met you, and you go all the way to the right, you kind of bump into a guy wearing a cloak, and he shoots the beast right before it leaps and mauls you. And so you're like, what the hell? And Nestor comes up, and he's like, he puts his hand up. He's like, I come in peace. And these guys with cloaks kind of like stare at him like, okay, hey, we don't know who this guy is. He's some, and then they shoot you, but you don't die. It just kind of like knocks you out. Now, this is a plot hole in the game, because their weapon is set to obliterate. So either he got lucky and it didn't vaporize him, or there's a setting in the gun that just paralyzes. We don't know what happened there, but he got killed. So you wake up in the cage with this like prisoner in front of you. He looks like a marshmallow monster. And so you're in a cage. When I was a little kid, I did not know what to do here, and so I turned the game off when I would get to this point, because I would be amused trying to do the beginning of it, where you kind of run from the beast and then this and that. Once I got to the cage, I had no idea what to do because I was too young to know what a guide was, and this was, I think, this might have been like when the internet just barely started, but I didn't have a computer, so I didn't know what to do, and so I would just stop there. I think this went on for like years, and so eventually I figured out that you're supposed to swing left, and then swing right, and then swing left, gain momentum, and then swing right, gain momentum, and then swing left, and then the cage breaks and falls on the guard watching over you. You hop out the gate. The prisoner that was with you hops off the gate. He says, "I'm following you," which I don't know what that could mean. Maybe it could mean follow me. So you hop out, and now this game is all about instinct. So when you crush the guard, he drops a gun. You're supposed to see that and then press down to pick up that gun. And if you don't, you die. So you have to know to do that. And so you go forward, and then as your friend is running, he'll run back because the guards are onto you. You're supposed to know to make shields with the gun. If you hold the fire button for a second, you can make a shield. If you hold the gun for more than a second, you kind of are able to do like a big blast, but it takes up your ammo. So you're supposed to bring up shields to fight these guards, and you either pop their shields when they run out, or you wait till the shield run out and then shoot them before they can rise a new one. And as you clear that, your friend will run back towards the end of that hallway. When you get to the end, your friend is trying to crack a code to open the door to get you guys out. And like the entire prison is like watching you guys. They're like, "Oh, these guys are getting out. These guys are making some progress." And as your friend is trying to crack the code, there are a bunch of shots coming towards you from lasers, and the guards are like trying to do like one last stand to stop you. And so you gotta make shields. You don't gotta do much at this point. All you gotta do is make shields. Once your friend cracks the code, you go through the door with him. You get to the elevator and you're free. Now, optional, when you're in the elevator, you can go up, and then once you go up, you get like a view of the. Hold on, let me lock my car because there's all these people like hanging around outside. So when you go up, Jesus. When you go up, you can go towards the window and kind of like get a view of where you're at. You're like in some weird planet. It looks like a futuristic metropolis, and there's like planets also all around it. And then once you go downstairs, you gotta cut the power off. I mean, how you're supposed to know this, I have no idea. But you gotta cut the power off and kill the guards in that room, and then you gotta go to the very lowest part of the elevator. And then it turns out that as you go forward in that room, the guards can't get you because you cut the power off, and so they're trying to bust the door down. As they're trying to bust the door down, you have to wait for your friend to get to a hatch on the floor where he opens it, and you fall through it into the underground, where you have to basically roll because it's a tight spot. And you can see from the top of it that he gets caught by the guards. And so you know, like this guy that you were locked up with, he doesn't know who you are. He doesn't know you. He can't even communicate with you, but he saved your life at that point. And so you roll and you fall, downward, and then you're in this like dark maze where you gotta roll towards the very bottom without getting hit by steam, or without going the wrong way where you fall from too high of a distance and then die from the fall. And you're gonna die a lot here. You're gonna die a lot. If you're playing casually, you're gonna die a lot here. And so if you can solve that and get to the very bottom, you will get towards an underground part of the of that area. And in that underground part, you have to use your gun to kind of like shoot openings, shoot things that are like break open new access points towards this underground cave you're in. And there's a point where you get to a dead end where there's like a lake that you can see held by like a wall. So you gotta blow up that wall. Once you blow up that wall, there's gonna be a bunch of water coming towards you, and you have to run to the left right away. It turns out like the suspense music kicks in at that point. You gotta run to the left, always to the left. You gotta hop over the obstacles. You gotta hop over these things that can like chew you up and eat you. If you make it to the end, the water will propel you back up. And then as you run to the left, you end up finding your friend off in the distance, also running from the guards while being shot at. And you're just like, whoa, that's my buddy. Like, I gotta, like, at that point, the game makes you think, you know what? He helped me. I should help him. And so at that point, you continue forward. And you kind of have to solve these puzzles, kill these guards. And then you get to a part where you find this one guard that catches you. Now these guys have brute strength, and you can't really stand much of a chance against them. But there's this one guard that catches you where you have to hurry up, because if you don't, you die. You have to hurry up and press Y, and you basically nut check him. And then you are able to run back. You gotta hold down on the gun that fell. You will roll and then shoot immediately to kill him and take him out. It's crazy how these things happen. And as you progress, you get to a part of the stage where your friend all of a sudden pops up underneath you in the ground. Now, your character can't see it, but you can as the player. And you have to shoot a certain chandelier that allows your friend to escape. And so he kind of gets away from the guards. And then you also get away at the same time. And it gets to the point where the two of you meet up again. And you guys end up getting caught. You end up getting caught in a situation where there's like a standoff. And you're pretty much caught. And you can't get out of it. And then your friend pops out from behind and like assaults the guys that were trying to get after you. And that's your chance to like shoot them and kill them. And then your friend's like, all right, follow me. And then you follow the friend. And then there's like a cliff, like a giant cliff. And your friend grabs you, throws you onto some like canopy type thing that bounces you back up. And then he runs back. And then he does a massive jump. But he grabs onto the cliff, but he can't get back up. So his arms stretch all the way down. And so you have to kind of like, you have to leave him at that point, because there's nothing you can do for him at that point. And so you jump as you're falling down this like hole on the floor that leads to like underground tunnels. You catch onto some canopy that swings you forward and whatnot. And then you end up in this place that's like a prison kind of. And when you're in this prison, you gotta solve puzzles. You gotta get around the guards. There's prisoners trying to escape also, but they can't get out. So you gotta get around the guards, shoot and kill the guards. You gotta figure out the puzzles, and then you get to a point where you have to escape the prison. And as you're escaping the prison, you're running through walls that shut behind you because the guy's trying to like get away, from the guards. As you're running, there's guards after you, and they're charging the guns to blow up all the walls that are chasing you down. And so you're running away. There's all these walls shutting down behind you because you also cut the power off. But the guards are blowing up the walls, blowing up the walls, blowing up the walls. So as a player, you're like, oh crap, like I gotta run. So you're running. The guards are getting closer. They keep shooting down the walls. You get to a dead end, and then you're like, oh god, this is the end. And then your friend who you shoot the chandelier down, he was able to get back into those kind of like trap spaces or vents. You see a hole open up in the ceiling, and he pulls you upward. He pulls you into the ceiling, and he gets you out. And like it's cool how this guy is like helping you throughout the whole game. Like Like, what did he like? You guys form this like connection, this really strong connection, and it's with there's no dialogue, but these two have become like the best of friends through helping each other try to like escape, this like planet full of like these homicidal guards and whatnot. And so towards the end of the game, you end up getting a hold of a tank, and your friend goes missing again. He's doing his own thing. And so as you get a hold of this tank, that was because you're kind of roaming around the spaceland. Your character doesn't really know what he's doing. He's kind of just trying to figure out, like pretend that you got thrown into an alien planet somewhere light years away. Like, he's gotten very lucky escaping the dangers, but he doesn't know where he's at. He doesn't know what's going on. And he finds this tank, he gets into it, and he ends up being put into a gladiator ring full of like people that look like his friend that are fighting like the beasts from the beginning of the game. And so in this level, you're supposed to you're supposed to hit the buttons in a certain way to unlock the eject driver button. If you don't figure this out, you die. So you kind of have to like play with the buttons. Once you get it down correctly, you get launched up high towards some tower, and then in this tower there's like mermaids, and like it's like a bougie type place where like the elite hang out. And so you get there, right, and everybody gets scared and runs away, like, oh, who's this guy? And you come out of there, and there's guards shooting lasers at you from all types of directions, and then you have to run to the left. As you run to the left, turns out that your friend pops out of a glass wall in front of you and joins you. As you're running, he kind of gets ahead of you, and then some guard shoots the ground above you, and you fall, and your friend kind of like, he gets too ahead where he doesn't fall, but he's like, oh no, like what, you fell, like, well, what am I gonna do? And so you're falling, and somebody catches you, and the person that catches you is some like random like guy that I guess maybe is a guard or whatnot. So he throws you upward. You land on the floor hard where you go, ugh, and he kicks you in the face, and you literally fly like 20 feet. And so your character is like weak because he might have. He just got kicked in the face like super hard. And so you're crawling from this guy that's like creeping over you. And then at the same time, your friend managed to climb down to go after you. And as you're crawling away from this guy, your friend tackles the guy on the floor and starts punching him, and they push you towards like a lever. And so your friend is punching the guy, punching him. That guy flips over, starts punching your friend, starts hitting him. And then they flip over, and your friend's punching him. And so they're going at it, and you're crawling towards towards a lever, and there's like a beam of light coming down between you two. And as you're going towards it, he knocks your friend off of there, but he manages to grab onto the ledge. And as the guy walks towards you, you have to pull a lever twice that shoots down a beam that eradicates everything behind you. You gotta time it right. So once this guy gets near you, you flip the switch, you flip it again, and then the beam obliterates him. And then the guards are after you and your friend still because, they've been catching up to you since the beginning that you got there. So you got to crawl backward. He's slowly and desperately crawling backwards. And when he gets to the light that was made by the beam that got shot, he zooms up. And so you zoom up, and there's a dragon up there, which looks like a way like kind of like a bus, I guess. Like a mode of transportation. So your character is crawling towards the dragon and just collapses in exhaustion. It's unclear what happened, but I think that what happened was that he was just so tired about everything that he went through, getting kicked in the face by a superhuman, that he just collapsed out of exhaustion. Your friend climbs back up, goes up the same way that you did, picks you up, he puts you on that dragon, the dragon extends its wings, and it flies away, and it says the end. The game is incredible. It has an incredible story that will make an awesome movie. It has great potential. I love this game. It had a HD remaster release a couple of years ago. But this game is amazing. It's one of the best games that you'll ever play. The story is just like, like the bond between him and that prisoner, and their determination to just escape. It's like one of those games where at the very end you feel like a feel of freedom. And the series goes on. There's another game after that I'd rather not get into. But Out of This World, Another World, it's a great game. Learn how to beat it, and praise your monkey boy friend. Praise the monkey boy friend.